Hey, if you're having wildlife issues, who should we call?
Wildlife Command Center!
Feels good. It was almost like a Ghostbusters moment.
Ghostbusters!
Got a call. What are we doing?
Today's Veterans Day, and I'm taking half a day off. Ha ha ha. Famous last words. We've got a white-tailed deer stuck in a fence by its hoof. And so we're going to see if we can't get it out without it getting hurt anymore, or if it's fatally, mortally wounded and we're going to have to euthanize it. Either way, could go good, could go bad. All right, so white-tailed deer are very protected, especially in the state of Missouri. And we have problems with chronic wasting disease, and so there's a lot of rules with white-tailed deer. Anytime we have to deal with one that's alive, I have to get permission. And so I text the Missouri Department of Conservation this morning, and I said, hey, I've got a white-tailed deer stuck in a fence. It's alive. It's in O'Fallon, Missouri. One, can I get permission to euthanize this deer if it's mortally wounded? And two, whose jurisdiction is that? And so the Missouri Department of Conservation texted me back, yes, please go ahead. It is our jurisdiction. So we've got written permission to deal with this deer, which is a big deal because general public just can't euthanize or kill white-tailed deer. Also, if you did not know this, it is against the law in Missouri to purposely feed or to put food out for white-tailed deer. You can't do it. So stop. So a few things that might happen. One, we don't know if it's a male or a female, okay? And that really depends on how aggressive I'm going to jump in there. If it's a male and it's got a big rack, of course, I don't want to get cut up and I don't want to get hurt, even though blood is very good for YouTube. Just entertainment in general. Yeah. Everybody wants to see the car wreck. If the leg or foot is already broke, that's a mortal wound. It has to be euthanized. If the cut is so severe that I don't think it will heal on its own, it'll have to be euthanized because there are no programs. There is nothing you can do for a white-tailed deer. They are just too high-strung, too out of control, and no veterinarian, no wildlife specialist, no wildlife rehabilitation will deal with an adult white-tailed deer. So the most humane thing is often the most difficult thing, and that is you have to euthanize the animal. We never want to euthanize a nice, healthy animal. However, we don't want the animal to suffer either. And so if it's a judgment call on is this wound a mortal wound, then I will euthanize because I don't want this animal to suffer. So it is a moral dilemma. It is. Because you have to ask yourself, are you doing the right thing? To be able to know if you're doing the right thing, then you have to understand white-tailed deer anatomy and habits. These deer are very hardy and they can survive a lot of trauma and they can survive a lot of wounds. Some wounds, especially leg wounds, never heal because there's not a lot of blood flow down, especially around the hooves. And so they just never heal. And so they just fester and they could live in agony for a year before they succumb to a leg wound. It is a hard decision. However, I am in charge of a company that we have to make some difficult decisions sometimes. And so I always choose to euthanize over suffering.
Hi there.
Hey,
how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Hey, Michael, Chance.
Hi.
Cole is our videographer that videos our stuff. We're going to do a training video with this. So he's in the back right here. You can just kind of point, you know.
Yeah, just straight in the back.
Okay.
You won't miss it behind the pine tree there.
And is it a buck or a doe? Do you know?
It's a buck.
It's a buck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how long it's been there. I noticed it about an hour or so ago.
An hour ago?
And a half ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take care of it.
All right.
All right.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, it's a buck.
What's up, Chance?
All right. Not much.
Say hi to YouTube.
Hello.
I've been going over scenarios with our YouTube audience to figure out what they think.
I'm really happy it's a buck.
I'm not happy it's a buck. But if it's a buck, the first thing I'm gonna do, I think, if we can, is throw my jacket over its rack and kind of contain it. Okay. And then we'll figure out how to get rid of it. You have the handgun?
I do.
Why don't you go ahead and bring that? I already called the Missouri Department of Conservation, and they said we can euthanize it if we have to. But I'd really love to be able to turn this thing loose. Oh, damn. Nah, this one's gonna have to be euthanized. Yeah,
Is it camera friendly?
there's no, well, right now it's not very camera friendly.
Okay.
And it is a buck. So, yeah, that's pretty nasty too. It's pretty graphic. Where's the pistol? So there's absolutely no saving it. This is mortally wounded, and this deer is in major pain right now, and he's going to be even more pain whenever I get close to him. So we're going to put a single bullet right through its head just to put it out of its misery. Yeah, I'm sorry, guy. Unfortunately, this is the way it's got to be. All right, settle down, settle down, settle down. Go put it back in the truck. This is probably one of the worst scenarios I've seen. What happened was the deer tried to jump this. And when he did, oh, by the way, he was going this direction. He was already in the yard and he was going that direction.
Got caught in the square.
And when his bottom foot went through here, and then he went over, broke his leg, and then he's come back through the fence in the opposite direction. It's just bad. I mean, this thing had to be in severe pain for a while. So we're gonna try to make this as less traumatic for the customer as possible and clean up that bloody mess back there for the customer. You know, that was probably about a 170-pound deer, but with all the power, I mean, he's completely mangled and bent this fence. Most wildlife companies, they just, they come in and get the quick, easy money, and then they're out of here, and they don't think about the customer and how the customer feels having to deal with this, because most people in urban environments don't have to deal with death, and they don't have to deal with dismemberment. And so they really don't have the tools psychologically to deal with all this. And some people do, most people don't. And so just doing this little bit right here doesn't seem like much, but to some people it's huge.
He's so strong.
I should be a Marvel superhero. Mortally wounded. There was no hope for that deer whatsoever. It was in pain all night long, excruciating pain. And so the most humane thing to do for this animal was to euthanize it quickly. And we used a 9mm with a home defense round, rapid expansion, immediately knocked it out with the impact of the gun, and then shot it right in the brain so that all brain function ceased immediately. Very, very humane way to go, if that's how you have to go. It makes me cringe just thinking about the pain that he was in. But no longer, because Wildlife Command Center showed up, we made the hard decision, we did the hard deed, and we put the animal out of its misery very, very quickly, very humanely.
Hey.
All wrapped up, so
Awesome.
That went smoothly.
Good.
Good
How
deal.
often you guys have to do that kind of thing?
It depends. You know, sometimes subdivisions that, you know, those fences
Back
are
to
just
woods.
happen to be in the way of
Yeah.
a new deer that's coming through the area. It's never traversed this before, and
Yeah.
so it just miscalculated.
Yeah.
And so it happens often during this time of the year,
Deer,
you
yeah.
know, because all the deer are really reactive to each
Yeah.
other at this point. So.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of your
All right,
afternoon.
thanks a lot.
Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it. Have a good one. Come on, keep going back.
Yeah, you know, when we're dealing with deer, dead deer and such, there's a whole issue of recycle, reuse. And, you know, this might be a good opportunity to go to the wolf sanctuary, because that one's a brand new, fresh dead deer.
Doesn't get any fresher than this. I'm sure that would make
You know?
Wolf's day.
Maybe Cole wants to jump in and ride with you to the wolf sanctuary. And so we have a deer that we just had to euthanize. And so we were wondering if you guys wanted fresh deer meat. No, we bring it to you. Sure. Also, yep, the name of the company is Wildlife Command Center. No, I understand. We recycle, reuse. We try to save the deer, but if they're mortally wounded, we have to euthanize them.
I say we stop by QT so I can get an energy drink.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little lacking in caffeine. I bought a really delicious energy drink this morning.
Was it Raze?
No. But the purchase was inspired by Raze. I was like, boy, I sure could go for an energy drink like that delicious Raze I had the other day.
This one most tastes like Raze. I do wish I had a Raze though.
If only. Yeah, right? The wolf sanctuary, the Endangered Wolf Sanctuary, had an event today. We weren't able to go all the way to watch them, take the fresh meat, but I am glad that we are not the ones. My back muscles rejoice that we don't have to cut that thing up after hauling it. But our birds of prey, all of our animals have plenty of food, so it's good to share the wealth. We've got lots of resources with things that happen. Nature has its way, but anything that we can repurpose and give it back to animals that need to eat is the best case scenario. That's what we're always trying to go for. So I'm glad that the wolves will have some fresh deer meat. Back in the day, a yo-yo, when you would pull on it, would come back up. Now there's unresponsive yo-yoing, where the yo-yo, if you give it slack, which would make it usually eat up that string and come back to you, now it doesn't come back when you pull it. So it allows you to do things you couldn't really do with a responsive yo-yo.
Wow.
So like slack tricks where the string is like loose.
Wow, dog. Woo! Is that shooting the moon?
This trick is called Eli hops. E-L-I. Don't know what this is called. This is called the gondola.
Whoa. Smash that subscribe button for Chance. More yo-yo videos.